sometimes it's an absolute bastard to get this camera straight and how I want it at the right angle. You didn't know I do film on the front facing camera, so I have no idea what's going on the other side. And if I'm honest, I do just hope. I just do film and hope it's something decent. And that has gone against me sometimes. I will not lie. Sometimes I have filmed and it's not been the right angle, and you've waffled, and then it doesn't count because you can't see anything properly, or it's out of focus sometimes. But that's a behind the scenes that you probably don't care about. But anyway, this morning, let me itch my knee. This morning, I was listening to a new podcast, and what they were talking about was actually quite interesting. And it was talking about being lonely and having no friends. And that's a pretty awful position to be in. I mean, loneliness is, personally for me, one of the worst feelings I've ever felt. And I wouldn't want anyone to feel that way. So I kind of get it, but I also aren't in that situation either. And one of the things they were saying is they find it hard to make friends now, because when you're in your 20s, you're not in university. You're not in these forced social settings of drinking or classes or a shared food spot, I guess. So you're not, they're talking about seeing familiar faces every day, even though you're not friends. They're saying you don't really get that anymore because you're older, and then it's difficult to meet people and make new friends. But me, in my situation, I've got my friends, and they're all friends from college, or I guess a little bit after college, the college period. And so I've got friends, so I'm not lonely in that department, because I've got friends that are amazing and fantastic and loving to bits, and they make life easier, and I'm so grateful for them. So I'm not in that same position. We're all pretty similar in our lives, in our careers and stuff. We're pretty much all at the same stages, and we see each other. Probably don't see each other as much as we all want to, but we see each other. And in this context of the podcast, in this situation the podcast is talking about, I think the only way at that age you're going to forcefully make friends, like if you want friends now, the only thing you can do is be brave. You have to be brave. You have to either be extroverted or put on a performance of being extroverted and doing acts that are extroverted. From someone who's a bit introverted, if I'm honest, I get how worrying and scary that is, to have to be brave and almost speak to people. I find comfort in not having to speak to people that I'm not friends with. And I can do that because I don't really need any more friends. I'm not forcefully searching for people because I'm lonely. Because I'm not lonely. Whereas if you are, you do just have to be brave. I mean, in my situation, I went to college and I had no friends. I had left all my friends from high school and I'd gone to college with no friends. Now, there were some people that I recognised, so that's what I did. I attached myself to people that I recognised, and also on a one-day college visit, I made friends there. And that was, I made one friend who then introduced me to multiple of his friends, and then from there, friendships, solidified. But that first meeting with this friend, big old Joe, he almost saves me from being lonely in my college life. But we both had to be brave in that situation, because you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to conversate. You've got to sit next to someone, and you know, after it, when they're saying, oh, do you want to do this? You're like, yeah, let's do this. And that's the brave part. And you have to do something. And it's shit scary if that's what you want. You know, there are some people in this world that don't want friends, that don't want more friends, that aren't lonely. So, you know, this information isn't for you. But the fact that, you know, I knew I was in a situation where I had to put myself out there a bit. I had to speak. You know, I had people at college that I recognised, so I did have a little bit to fall back on. So I didn't have to be too forceful and too fake, or too, I have to do this, do something I don't want to do. And the thing, what is this car doing next to me? And the thing with sorry, just coming very close to me for no reason. Probably watching me film. Whoopee. What was I saying? Yeah, so I've put myself out there. And then after that, you've got to conversate and, you know, work on your social skills. No one knows how to talk. No one knows what they're doing. Sure, you've got these specific extroverted people who don't shut the hell up in social settings. Again, I believe, I'm not friends with anyone like that necessarily, but I believe it's fake. They're putting it on, they're pretending to be someone. They're also talking about stuff, they're like half and half themselves and half not. They've developed probably social mechanisms that help them be more social, because they're probably the ones who are more scared of being alone. So they protect themselves and learn that way. And, you know, that's a specific type of person. But everyone probably feels the same. The majority of people, you'll find, feel the same as you. They'll feel lonely. They probably want friends. You know, if someone came to me and said, you know what, nice to meet you, I'm lonely. Could you, do you want to be friends? Unrealistic, that's never going to happen. Well, it might happen, but if that ever happens, I'm not going to be saying, nah, piss off, mate. I don't need more mates. Be like, yeah, what's your name? Nice to meet you. What did you do? Do you know what I mean? You start talking. I don't know anyone who would say, nah, fuck off, mate. Don't want you. And if they do, I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to be friends with you anyway. So, not saying you have to do that and go up to random people and say, be my friend, because that's strange. But it's your mentality that you need to look at and say, everyone's in the same position as you. We all probably want friends. The majority of us want friends, and we wouldn't mind conversating. Like, I know when I go to the gym, I could make so many friends in the gym. Everyone there's very nice, and if I'm honest, a lot of them are a bit talkative. They're the quiet ones, obviously, but if I wanted to make friends, it would be so easy to start a conversation. You know, I was in the sauna yesterday. I only go in it for 10 minutes, and these lads came in and they were chatting. Normally I sit there with my earphones in, listening to a book. I turned them off and was listening to their conversation, and I thought, if I needed a friend, I could just interchat right now, laugh with them, say something, ask a few questions, see him again the next week, and, you know, maybe 2 weeks later see him again. And that's how I do it. You know, you've also got to realise, in these social situations like uni and school, you're seeing everyone every day. So the social dynamic is sped up compared to the world. You know, you're seeing that same person. If I was to make friends with someone at the gym, you know, I'd probably see the same person every week, twice a week maybe, if I'm lucky. Our paths would cross, unless, you know, our routine and schedule is literally matched up. But it would be slower, so you got to understand that. You got to take your time a bit. And I guess maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just fortunate and I don't understand other people's situations. But one thing I do understand is I do know it's scary, and you do just have to be brave if that's what you want. And this person on the podcast talking about, you know, that is what they want. And, you know, everyone tells that person, you need a hobby. You know, I guess the gym is the hobby. But another way, trying to think of another way where it's not having a hobby, you have to be even braver. You know, a hobby reduces how brave you have to be because it's a forced situation that everyone's in. We're all here, we all have to conversate. You're doing something, you know, if I'm playing football, I've got to conversate with these people because it's just what you do. Whereas if you haven't got a hobby, yeah, you've got to be even braver because you've got to talk to a random person. If you're in a queue somewhere, chatting to someone, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. You've got to just be out there as much as you can. And if that is you and you still have no mates, you've got to look at who you are and are you fake and are you open with these people? Because a friendship is two people being open with each other, being honest with each other, caring for each other. And if that's not what you're doing, you're not going to keep friends. You might make friends. You know, some people have friends scattered everywhere and they're all friends, but they're not, you know, deeply connected. They're not best friends. I think it all comes down to you, because how open are you? How vulnerable are you? How willing are you to call on someone for help that they then say, oh, this is my friend, or they've done it to me, so I'm going to do it to them. You know, you've got to be the first one to act. And I think that goes with a lot of things in life. You've got to react. You've got to be the one that instigates things. You've got to take life by the balls, I guess. If that's what you want. If you want something, you have to go and get it. You really do. And it's about being brave with anything. You've just got to take that leap of faith. And it's one of the scariest things to do, taking a leap of faith in anything that you're uncomfortable with. But the only other way something's going to happen is by you waiting on life to let it happen, for it to come to you. And that's also fine if you want to wait, if you've got time, if you're not suffering right now with whatever it is. You know I can wait and make new friends because I've got friends. I've got them in abundance, so I don't need to sort of be desperate about it. So I don't have to be brave. I can just let stuff like that happen. But yeah, that's just what I was thinking when I was listening to it. And you know what I mean, no fault to that person who was struggling, but there's a lot of people that probably are thinking the exact same thing. How the hell do I make friends? You know, I'm lonely. There's a lot of people. And it just takes being brave. And you've got to keep trying. It's literally the same principle with everything that I've found. You've just got to keep trying it. And don't give up on it. Even no matter how hard it is, no matter how awkward it is, you just got to keep trying, and then something will come along. Might take a year, 2 years, and everyone's thinking, God, it's going to take that long? Yeah, it probably will. But you can do it at the end of the day. But yeah, anyway, at work now, so peace.